And it does actually basically give you an opportunity to actually basically run real production workloads or Homelab workloads and get used to all that Dell hardware, IBM hardware, HP hardware that you actually basically might see as well, which is also basically a big advantage on your CV if you can actually basically tell a potential employer that you're coming with skills and you've actually basically used HPE servers or Dell servers, and you've used iDRAC and you know all about that sort of kind of stuff. You know, that really actually basically, I think, you know, somebody actually basically came to me and turned around and said that they had a Homelab at home and, you know, they'd spent £500 on it and they'd learned VMware, etc., and they'd learned how to use Dell servers and patch them and iDRACs. I'd employ them. You know, and going out on the limb here, and, you know, so I don't think there's anything, you know, wrong, you know, with these servers. So again, you know, these servers, we have actually basically got 128 gig in them. We have actually purchased that memory to fully expand them. But again, you know, they're still running a D1541, which has got 8 cores, I think it was. 8 cores /16 if you turn on hyper-threading, but of course we know all about that now. But as you would have seen, or not yet, because I've not published it yet, you know, in 8.03, you know, we can actually basically turn on memory tiering on bare metal. So that actually basically is going to save some money. And as I was sort of kind of mentioning in one of them videos, you know, like, you know, you can buy these things that are cheap as chips. You know, this is a Crucial by Micron P3 Plus PCI for NVMe M.2 SSD. Cheapest chips, and, you know, we can, as I said, if you watch that video, then you can see basically that we can enable memory tiering. Anyway, so if you've never ever basically installed VMware ESXi 8.0.3 before, the first part of the installation really is where the installer will read all the drivers into memory. If you get a pink screen of death or a purple screen of death when you're installing it, before you get to the welcome screen, generally indicates that your hardware is not supported, or you've got a hardware issue. Now, you do need to have a storage controller and a network controller and a CPU now that are on the hardware compatibility list. There's no way of getting away from that. ESXi is a very small footprint. It doesn't contain all the drivers under the sun like Windows does. So because it's on a very small footprint and they're certified, you haven't got a huge stock of drivers basically to use.